Okay, I'm going to try to splice this video onto the last headlight video I did. Because I bumped the volume button there on my phone with my fat finger. Because I was going to go right into this one after babbling about car prices. But redoing the headlights vacuum system on the Charger here. 67 they use electric motors. 68 and 69 they use vacuum, and then 70 they went back to electric, I believe. Now don't ask me what they were thinking when they expected people up here in the north and New York and Michigan and all these places that have ice and snow and hail and sleet, how the hell their headlights were going to work when their grill gets jam-packed full of ice and snow and water and stuff. But that's pretty crazy. I can't believe they actually did that. But it's kind of like, to digress a bit, the new cars with the hideaway windshield wipers up here in the north that get all jammed full of ice in the wintertime, and they just break and shit. It's a pain in the ass. But so the vacuum system on the headlights here is actually way more simple than I remember. I trashed my vacuum can and battery tray years ago because it was corroded from the acid and stuff, and I had to actually put that piece of sheet metal in there and kind of finish it off because there was a couple decent rust holes in here on that shelf that was there stock, if you know what this end bay looks like. So I'm gonna have to get a there's two ways you can go about it. You could either get the factory replacement vacuum can, which is like $105, and it looks like a giant Chef Boyardee can, and it has this giant bracket. It's pretty stupid. Or you could probably do what I'm gonna do and get like a Jegs vacuum can for a brake booster or something and change the fittings and stuff, and they're like $40, and they're more compact, and they don't look like some Kalashnikov designed piece of industrial train yard gear. So, okay, you need, that would have to have two fittings on it, and I got them written down over here. They're 3/16 nipples. This stock vacuum line is like, takes 3/16 nipples, and it's 5/32 outside diameter vacuum hose. I noticed that I messed that up there when I wrote it down for my bad memory. That's supposed to be OD. I used my left hand to write that down. So it's 5/32 hose, takes 3/16 nipples. So that's what type of barb you'd need on the Jegs vacuum can or whatever you bought. Summit makes them as well. So you'll obviously have to plumb a vacuum line coming off your manifold, one into the can. Then you got your one vacuum line that comes off to this guy I have taped off here. I believe it's the green, this hose has a green stripe on it that you can't really see when they're faded, but you look at where it's like sealed with this black stuff right here, and if you move it over, it'll stretch a little bit, and you can see that there's a green line on it that's still pretty visible for after the years. This one on mine is the amber hose, and then there's a plain hose. Okay, so the green one goes to your vacuum can, and then you got a vacuum source to the vacuum can, right? So it all goes into the headlight switch, which is a pretty ingenious and bizarre design, actually. I wouldn't expect them to do that. Just for maintenance, it seems like a nightmare. But then your amber line and your plain run all the way down your fender through this hole, and I'll try to light this up as good as I can, but it doesn't focus very well, into these two lines with T's in them. You see I have it duct tape there with what they do, and one of these lines goes to the bottom of the headlight actuator, and then this one goes to the top of the headlight actuator. And I'll try to read the label I have it on so I remember. So the yellow line goes to the setup with the T that runs right into your top one, because this other side of the T will correspond and go across the grill to the top side on your passenger side. And then your plain one goes to the bottom one here. It says no stripe, goes to the bottom. Okay, so that's all factory plumbing here. If you can tell, this car only has 52,466 6/10 miles on it. So that basically shit on here that I say is original, you can bet, and trust me that it is original, because this car is actually very low mileage, which is crazy. The lady at the DMV tried to give me hassle when I originally registered this thing, and she was like, "Hey, sure it's not 152,000?" I was like, "No, it's not. It's only 52." I'll show you the tag. Here, let me get around. Sorry for the video. You can see it. Look at the light on there. That's 52,466 and 6/10. I thought it was funny when I was a kid to disconnect that when I was driving it when it said 666 as the last numbers, but it's a little joke between me and my friend because he used to call the car Satan because it was pretty friggin' fast and scary. So there you go. And I mean, it has a little more than that on it for my drag strip time and from limited cruising, but I mean, it would only be like, you know, less than 100 miles more than that, you know, off the odometer. But yeah, so I'll try to think of another video to make here. It's about, I don't know, whatever else odd in this car that I can think of, and give you guys some watching time. Later.